Dek, kenapa lihat-lihat? Dek, kenapa lihat-lihat? Lihat-lihat. Dek, kenapa lihat-lihat? Dek, kenapa lihat-lihat?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan selamat pagi diucapkan kepada semua yang setia menanti setiap minggu mengikuti UNIRAZAK Gear Up e-tuition. So terima kasih dan jangan lupa untuk mengikuti kami di laman web Instagram, YouTube, subscribe dan like untuk sebarang notifikasi terkini mengenai sebarang aktiviti yang dilaksanakan oleh pihak UNIRAZAK. Selamat sejahtera dan selamat kembali ke MyUnirazak YouTube channel dan UNIRAZAK Facebook Live. Selamat datang ke program URGUP SPM Free E-Tuition dan saya Muhammad Safan bin Zulkifli, hos anda untuk hari ini. Minggu ini adalah minggu ke-8 pihak UNIRAZAK bersama dengan adik-adik para pelajar SPM 2021 di dalam program URGUP SPM Free E-Tuition. Program yang dianjurkan oleh pihak UNIRAZAK ini adalah bertujuan untuk membantu adik-adik sekalian, alright, untuk berkongsi apakah topik-topik yang harus difokuskan, bagaimana untuk menghadapi dan persediaan yang perlu dilakukan untuk menghadapi SPM yang akan kunjung tiba tidak lama lagi. Kami berharap agar kelas yang telah dianjurkan selama ini dapat membantu para pelajar yang telah menduduki peperiksaan percubaan SPM. Minggu ini, adik-adik sekalian, kita kembali ke sesi kedua bagi subjek Bahasa Inggeris bersama Cikgu Ezlin. So this is our session, second session together, alright, out of 3. Dan teruskan setia bersama URGUP SPM Free E-Tuition sehingga kelas yang ketiga, iaitu kelas terakhir bagi semua mata pelajaran yang kita adakan, yakni Bahasa Melayu, Bahasa Inggeris, Matematik, Sejarah serta Prinsip Perakaunan. Program ini akan disiar secara langsung di MyUnirazak YouTube dan Facebook selama 2 jam dan buat para pelajar kami mengalu-alukan untuk anda menjemput rakan-rakan anda, alright, untuk bersama kita pada hari ini. Link pautan pendaftaran secara percuma disediakan seperti yang tertera di chat box dan bagi pelajar yang mendaftar, kalian akan mendapat bahan pembelajaran secara percuma. Okey, untuk makluman para pelajar yang menghantar mesej melalui aplikasi WhatsApp bagi mendapatkan sijil penyertaan, pihak UNIRAZAK akan memberikan e-sertifikat penyertaan setelah sesi pembelajaran URGUP SPM Free E-Tuition berakhir pada Januari 2022. Maknanya, setelah adik-adik complete all 3 sessions, then only we will be giving you the e-certificate. So, diharapkan bersabar, tak lama je lagi. Alright? Dan sebelum kita meneruskan pembelajaran pada hari ini, apa kata kita tonton dulu sebuah video corporate UNIRAZAK yang disediakan khas untuk adik-adik. Saksikan. Itu dia video corporate UNIRAZAK dan bersama dengan saya pada pagi ini siapa lagi tidak lain tidak bukan Cikgu Ezlin. Cikgu Ezlin merupakan seorang guru yang mengajar mata pelajaran Bahasa Inggeris di SMK Kepong Gombak dan beliau telah mempunyai pengalaman mengajar selama 22 tahun dan memulakan kerjaya sebagai seorang guru di SMK Padawan, Kuching, Sarawak pada tahun 1999. Cikgu Ezlin mempunyai kelulusan di dalam jurusan Ijazah Sarjana Muda TESOL di bawah program MPIK University of Southampton. Hobi Cikgu Ezlin di waktu lapang adalah membuat penterjemahan or translation dalam bahasa Inggeris ke bahasa Melayu ataupun bahasa Melayu ke bahasa Inggeris. Beliau juga merupakan seorang yang gemar membaca, mewarna, menonton drama-drama Korea, K-popers nampaknya, dan mendengar lagu-lagu soundtrack. Untuk tidak membuang masa lagi, apa kata adik-adik bersedia bersama sarapan ke, minuman ke, dan kita akan meneruskan program kita pada hari ini, fokus pada mata pelajaran Bahasa Inggeris bersama Cikgu Ezlin. Cikgu, this it out.
Okay, alright. Terima kasih Cik Safwan. Okay, good morning and Assalamualaikum everybody. So welcome to our session. Our second session today is about our reading and use of English. Okay, I am very sure. So untuk sesi ni cikgu akan guna bahasa Inggeris, tapi ada sekali cikgu akan switch jugalah ke bahasa Melayu untuk panduan semua pelajar di sana. Okay, I am very sure you have set for your paper 1, reading and use of English for your SPM trial. And I'm sure there will be many mixed feelings and emotion that you get after sitting for the papers. Whether, yep, I've done it, I've nailed it. Oh no, I've done so many mistakes. Yes, good morning, Nick. And other mixed emotion. So I think the time for us to think about all that is over, because I think next week you have other papers to focus on. But what can you do? Okay, selamat pagi, Siti Aisyah. Assalamualaikum. So what you can do to look back, all right, to do self-reflection on your paper, your performance, okay, in the paper is number 1, perhaps by following this session, perhaps you can look which part of the paper that you need to work on. Okay, so in my session, I will give some tips, things that you need to focus on, those small details that may help you to improve your fluency and the mastery of paper 1, reading and use of English. So allow me to share my slide first. Okay, I hope I'm doing this right. So hopefully the admin can correct me if I do this wrong. Okay, hold on, yeah. Okay, all right. Share. All right. Okay. Okay, stop sharing. Okay, Cik Safwan, can you see the slide? Cik Safwan or admin, can we see the slide?
Yes, clear.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you so much. All right, so as you know, just like your writing paper, it is a new format for all of us, teachers, school administrators, and of course for you students, the SPM candidate of 2022, and it has been relabeled as paper 1. Okay. So, our session today, I'm going to share some ways and means to tackle paper 1 reading and use of English, and of course to provide the support that you need for next year. Okay, now, again, this is a new paper for everybody. So it requires for all teachers actually to do some research, preparation. We also have our own, what we call lifelong learning, in order to make sure that we provide the best for our students. So these are some of my references. And you guys can also refer to the 3 YouTube links that I have shared here, that will actually give more information on tips to tackle your reading paper. Okay, let us look at the overview of the format of paper 1, reading and use of English. So in part 1, it's what we call short text multiple choice question, or known as MCQ. So there are 8 questions. So this is actually similar to the old format, or to the previous format of the last paper of SPM 2020. And then you have part 2, multiple choice question close, or we call it rational close, and it also has 9 questions. And then we followed by MCQ longer text, multiple choice question longer text. So this is actually a multiple choice question based on comprehension passage. So in the previous format, just to let you know, it is in the form of, it's in the form of open-ended, where you have the question and you have to write the answer in a sentence. But for this, you only need to shade or blacken the best option in the answer sheet given. And then in part 4, you have get text, where you have to read the text and look at the selection of the selection of choices given at the bottom of the text and choose the most suitable one to fill in the gap. Okay, and for this one, instead of shading or blacken the best option, you have to write clearly whether it's a A, B until H. Okay. All right, now in part 5, this is also similar to information transfer of the previous format, where you have to do two parts in one task. One is you are going to match paragraph with statement. Again, just like part 4, you need to fill in the correct alphabet. And after that, you need to complete, I think 4, if I'm not mistaken, 4 sentences with one word answer. So in the instruction, it will say usually for Selangor paper this time, it says there, make sure your answer is no more than one word. So if the question says no more than 2 words, means your answer to complete the missing information, it should be between 1 to 2 words. So you really have to read the instruction carefully. Honestly, for me, part 5, question 37 to 40 is the most challenging one, because here your knowledge and your skill of your grammar, vocabulary play an important role to get the mark. All right, so we are done with the overview of the format. So let us look at part 1, short text. Okay, now for this part, it consists of short text with multiple choice question. So the 2 tips that provided, that are suggested for you guys, is of course, read and understand the main idea in the passage. And then you look at the option given from A to D and you eliminate the wrong answer. Okay, now let us look in detail some of the techniques offered for part 1. Number 1, read and understand what the question wants. So this is the part where you have your red pen, your ruler, or you want to use your pencil or even highlighter. Highlight the keywords. Now the keywords here are very important because it provides clues. So for me, honestly, paper 1 is where you, students out there, you are playing a role as a detective. You are the hotshot lawyer looking for evidence, okay, proof to support your answer, to support the sentence, to support the statement in that particular question. Okay. All right. So the keywords will give you information like, for example, when you look for the answer in the option, you need to know the synonym of that particular keyword. You should know the pronoun ataupun kata ganti nama of that particular word. For example, if it says, emotion, so usually we use the pronoun it to refer to the word emotion, something like that. Okay, now technique number 2, read the text once to get a general idea. Okay, now I know out there are some students who get nervous when you look at the text and you will discover certain words that you are not sure of, you're not familiar with. Then don't worry, always go back to the question. That's why in this technique, number 1 technique will be read and understand what the question wants. So the question will actually become your Google map, will become your ways or your compass that will guide you in your reading so that you don't get distracted easily of those unfamiliar words. Okay, we tend to get nervous, okay, or I like to use the word with my students, kanchiong. Okay, we get nervous. Kita cepat rasa resah bila kita nampak perkataan yang kita tak faham. Automatic nak guna dictionary, but you can't. So here is where the understanding of the question plays a role, okay, to help you to focus on the need or the requirement of the question. So that's why it comes to step number 3. Do not bother about unfamiliar words, okay? All right, students out there, you only have 1 hour and 30 minutes. So if you are worried about all the unfamiliar words, you will never get all the 40 questions done in time. Okay, so that's why it says here, just guess the meaning from context. Okay, then we look at our option A, B, C, D. Read through the answer options and identify the keywords that also appear in the text. So this is where you are playing the matching game. Look at the keywords in the question, look for the similar keywords in the option. If it's not there, confirm. It's not, then you eliminate, cancel it, or you put X at the end of that option. Okay, and then perhaps you end up with two options which look and sound equally the same. That's where you are going to look at step number 5. Read the sentences again in the text that contain the keywords again to find out the correct answer. So this is where the decision making comes in. So you will discover that I'm very sure that you have done your speaking assessment, trial speaking assessment with your teachers, and you discover in part 2 you have to make a decision. And yes, in this part you have to make the decision if you encounter two similar options in your question. Read all the answer options and eliminate the wrong ones. Okay, so let us look at some information about short text. Now, one of the common questions that you can get in short text is asking for the purpose of the text, tujuan teks tersebut. And you will find that in other set, in other unit, in other workbook, apart from the word purpose, they can use the word aim or objective. So these three has the same meaning. Tujuan, matlamat. Okay? Purpose, aim, objective. So here what I've done is I have underlined the keyword purpose. Okay, what is the purpose of the text? So here I'm telling myself, okay, apakah tujuan teks ini? Alright, so here, if you remember, the tip is you look, sorry, too fast. Okay, sorry. Okay, you look at the option given. Now, some students, I know some students out there, you love to read first. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes again, you may get distracted because as you read, you discover, oh, what's the meaning of adjust? And then you'll be thinking, and you are wasting time. That is why, all this while, when it comes to reading question, the many experts, many teachers have been saying that you look at the option to help you in your reading. Okay, all right. So we look at A. To inform people on how to use the computer. Okay, so if you look at the whole text, if you look at the first part here, use the computer correctly. Here it says correctly. It is about dengan cara yang betul, the proper way, the right way. So here is how. It's not saying, so here when you see how, it is like you are a beginner, you are a novice, pengguna pengguna remaja pula, pengguna pertama kali. So it doesn't suit there. So we kind of put X at the side here to give an explanation on how to use a computer. So if you have eliminated A, surely you have to eliminate B, because B is to give an explanation. So to give an explanation is similar to inform. So A and B are out, so you are left with C. To provide guidelines on how to use the computer the right way. So the right way here, if you look here, it is linked to the word correctly. And that is why the answer is C. So if you look at the tips here, the text is about the do's and the don'ts to use the computer. For example, set the screen straight, the top of the screen. So these are the tips on how to use the computer correctly, equivalent to the right way. Okay, so here you have extra note for you guys, the word strain. Okay, strain means injure a body part by over-exerting. Maknanya you overuse. For example, so that you don't strain your neck. If I put it in a simpler way, you don't overuse your neck muscle. Okay, we move on to the another example. So this is also about not also another common question in part 1. It will be about the main point, isi utama, idea utama, or main idea. So here you have to read to get the main idea, but to help you with the reading, you have the options A, B, C. The notice to the Form 5 students says that seats are limited. Okay, we look for evidence. So here you are detective, you are lawyers. Okay, you are going to look for evidence to support A. Seats are limited. Okay, so we look for the word seats. Okay, seats. So we look and we find the word seats here. Only. Now the word only, hanya. So it shows that many. That amount, that number of. So only 100 seats are available. So this supports option A, seats are limited. So probably you say, yahoo, we got the answer, and you jump to the next question. But to be safe, just double check option B and C. So we look at option B, the workshop is held for one whole day. Okay, satu hari suntuk if I compare with the VM version. So we look at the evidence here. Okay, 21st and 22nd August, 2 days. So here one whole day, so B is out. Okay, Sego College will conduct the workshop together with Miss Shamila. So it looks like Miss Shamila is like me, one of the speakers, one of the motivators, one of the facilitators. So we look for Shamila. Okay, got it down here. Contact Miss Shamila, Students Affair Coordinator. Coordinator, speaker, so something is not right there. So the answer is not C, because here probably the function of Miss Shamila here perhaps to provide information about the course, but not actually working together with Sego College to handle the workshop. So here conduct the workshop together is suggesting that she is one of the speaker, one of the facilitator, just like me, and the teachers who are involved with our UNIRAZAK program. Okay, so I hope these two highlights are clear for you all out there. Okay, next. We look at another common question for part 1, which is true, not true, false, correct, or correctly accept. Okay, so these are the part where you really have to compare and contrast, match the info in the text with the option given. Which of the following sentences is true? So I would suggest students to underline this with your highlighter or red pen or your pen stationery set. Okay. All right. Winners can exchange their prizes for money. Exchange means they can, if they have if they receive a trophy or they receive a food hamper, the winners are allowed can exchange the prizes with cash. So we look for that information. So here the keyword is exchange. And you look here, prizes are not exchangeable. So here, exchange. Here, not exchangeable. So this is false. Winners who are not happy can write to the judges. Means you are not satisfied with the result. You want to ask more. Why I was not the winner? Why I didn't win the second prize? Why I was just a consolation prize winner? So you want to know all that. So you are going to write to the judges. Are you allowed to do that? So if you look at down here, judges' decision is final. So you look at the word judges. Okay, fine. And no correspondence. So you might be thinking correspondence. So here let you know that correspondence is actually the process of writing letter. Okay, no correspondence will be entertained. Means you are not allowed to write to the judges asking for explanation. That's why whether you're happy or not happy, you can't do B, which is write to the judges. So what you are left with is C. There are more than 3 winners in the contest. Now, this is very interesting, yeah, because look at the phrase here, more than 3 winners. So do bear in mind, winners means pemenang. And it is not limited to first winner, second place winner, and third place winner. We also have consolation prize winner. This is something that you need to bear in mind, yeah, when we deal with the phrase winner. Kita ada pemenang tempat pertama, kedua dan ketiga dan juga sagu hati. Hey, they are winners as well, okay? So here, more than 3 winners, correct, because 1, 2, 3, and then plus 17 consolation prize winners, 20. So C is the answer, okay? So if you look at the additional tip here, the notice mentioned that there are 3 main prizes and 17 consolation prizes equivalent to 20. Okay, highlight the key phrases, then locate the answer in the graphic stimuli. So here we have suggested word like forfeited, okay, loss. Okay, forfeited maknanya akan ditarik balik, okay, akan dibatalkan, deprived of as a penalty, ya, akan ditarik balik. Okay, another type of question apart from true, not true, false is we have the word accept ataupun kecuali. My concern with this question is sometimes when we are excited, we forget the word accept here. So usually in assessment, they will highlight, okay, the word accept in the form of bold. So take note of that. Okay, that's why here for me, 2 important stationery items for your paper 1 will be your ruler, okay, and your highlighter /pen/pencil. Okay. Passengers can do the following in the train except. So here is a notice about train etiquette. Bermaksud tata susila penggunaan kereta api. So it can be your LRT, MRT, ETS or your KTM train. Okay, going from here to here. Okay, except listen to music using earphones. So let us look at the etiquette about music. Yes, we have number 6. Okay, use earphones to listen to music and keep the volume low. So here it is actually suggesting you to use earphone to listen to music and keep the volume. So number 6, okay, is for A, but A says you cannot do this. So A is not acceptable. Okay. All right. Then we look at option B because A can be done. So we look at B. Offer food to the hungry children. So we look for food. Okay. Do not eat or drink. Keep the train clean at all times. So you cannot eat or drink. So if you can't eat, if you can't drink, definitely you can't offer food to the hungry children. So yeah, maybe the answer is B. Passengers can do the following in the train except B. So what about C? Conversation. So a conversation means talk, speak, communicate, interact. So we look for those words, yeah, with other passengers in the train. Okay, we look for talk. If you notice that you don't have start a conversation used in the etiquette, that's why I ask you, when you underline the keywords, you have to list down the synonym. That's why, guys, one of your preparation for your reading and use of English is synonym. Do lots of synonym exercise, which you can be done online, or you look for your English workbook that have sections on vocabulary synonym. So here you have start a conversation. As I have mentioned earlier, it's about speaking, talking, interacting, communicating, and then you have here talking. Keep your voice down when talking. So here it says that you cannot start a conversation. Here it says keep your voice down, which means you are allowed to start a conversation. It says you have to talk very low, very softly, very gently. Whisper if you have to. And that's why the answer is B. Passengers can do the following in the train except B. Offer food to the hungry children. Now, if you notice that, if you could recall your experience sitting for this paper in probably last week, right? I think last week for Selangor, it will be Friday. Not the other week, the previous week. You will find that some of your friends might be talking to yourself, because you are trying to argue. Okay. I'm not saying that it's not allowed. Okay, but don't do it too loudly. Don't do it so obvious that it is distracting the person next to you, especially the left and the right, and especially at the back. Okay, you get stressed when you see your classmate, doing this and this, All right. So moving on. Okay, now another additional question I have added in to this part 1 about this. The purpose of the text. Okay, so when you look at the text, okay, you will again always refer to the question and the option to decide. Okay, so here it says the purpose of the text. So you have inform, describe, advertise. So inform is to tell you about something probably for the first time. Okay, so it involves information, details, facts. So if you look at this text, what is solar energy? You look at this question, you already know it's about facts that doesn't involve personal opinion. Okay, guys, why I put this in? Because describe usually, accidentally or not, will involve your personal opinion because it's what you see. For example, I ask you to describe, let me think of an actor. I only can think of a Korean actor, Cha Yun-woo. Okay, so you said, okay, please describe Cha Yun-woo. So say he is very tall and he's very good looking. So that's my personal opinion. Well, he is good looking, right? Factually, he is good looking. But I actually involve my personal opinion to compare to this. What is solar energy? So I'm giving facts. I didn't say solar energy is a bright sunshine, orange color, that kind of thing, yellowish. Here is energy provided by the sun. So it's like facts straight to the point. So it's a bit dry. Okay. So that's why for this one, it cannot be B. And of course, advertise means mengiklankan. When you advertise, you have the intention of asking your reader to be interested to buy it or to own the item or product. So confirm is definitely not C, and the answer is A. Okay, I think we are okay with part 1. So what I've done with part 1 so far, I have highlighted the common questions that usually can be found in your part 1. Okay, all right, moving on. Part 2. Okay, now part 2 is all about your knowledge, about your grammar, about your vocabulary. So since you enter the world of academics since your preschool, semasa tadika, semasa UPSR, semasa PT3, and now SPM, you are exposed to grammar, vocab. And I know many students say, I don't like vocab, I don't like grammar. Fine. But unfortunately, those are the two important items tested here in part 2 closed text. So let us look at ways and tips for part 2. Read the passage before reviewing the answer option. Yeah, you have to read the text or the passage because you need to know what is it all about. And you need to tell the dear brain of yours that get ready. I need some knowledge from previous knowledge about this particular theme of the passage. So you know your brain. If you watch Korean drama Yumi Cell, you will know that all the cells are functioning, processing, finding the previous knowledge of that particular theme of the topic. Okay. Now this is the important bit. Yeah, determine the tenses used. So you have to look. Paragraph 1, is it using past tense or present tense? And the same rule you use for the next paragraph, because I can guarantee you there will be minimum one question about tense. It can be past tense, it can be present perfect, or even can be your subject-verb agreement when you have present tense, whether you use verb with the letter S or verb without the letter S, and then, yeah. Okay, now understand the different meaning of each word. So when you look at the options, right, you have to choose the right word that suits the context. Because one thing about English, right, I always tell my student that English is such a stingy language whereby you can have one word that represent many different meaning depending on the context. And that's why it causes confusion for some of us, yeah? And of course, select the best answer to fit in the sentence. Okay, now let us look at details about answering techniques for part 2. Yeah, so similar to the second one, identify the tense use, past or present. So if I were you, yeah, for part 2, for each paragraph, because your passage usually in paragraphs, yeah, I will identify, okay, past tense. And I look at the second paragraph, present tense. Because that will help you actually if you encounter a question that asks you to complete the sentence using past or present. Now read the whole sentence and or the sentence before it to get the clues. What I'm trying to say is if item number 9 is there, so read the sentence before number 9, read the sentence after number 9. That will help you give the clues. Okay. If it is present tense, take note on whether the subject is singular or plural. This is where I would also recommend that make sure you know your uncountable noun, your uncountable noun, countable noun. Okay, singular, plural. You know, when you have the word furniture, do you have the letter S, or without the letter S when you use furniture? When you use the word what else? Furniture, equipment. Okay. All right. Next, remember all the grammatical formulas. So this is the part that if you notice that if you buy certain workbook for SPM English out there are sections for grammar. Do it like this. If Datuk Lee Chong Wei, if our Lee Zijia have to always go back to their foundation of badminton playing in order to be a champion, world champion, you will also do that. In order to be the world champion of your English paper, Chewa, you gotta revise your grammar vocab all the time. I do that. Seriously, I do that because sometimes I do make mistakes. Okay, because it's not our mother tongue, so you might make mistake here and there. And do remember sometimes languages need to evolve with time. Okay, bahasa ni dia terpaksa berubah dengan masa, and you will find that sometimes certain grammatical rules change. So for us teachers, language user, active language user, we have to always read, check out the website on grammar to find out the current trend of that particular grammar item. Number 5, fill in the gap with the answer options and read the sentence again. Does it sound right? Okay, it's so typical us. And I grew up, okay, I developed my language proficiency with step number 5 actually. You know, when I did my grammar exercise, I will read it out loud. If it sounds good to the ear, yeah. Okay, that's why I'm going to add this in. Another tip of actually improving your language, you know, you listen to English songs. Now, when I say English songs, choose the right one. You don't go for like songs like you know, Justin Bieber, what we call the duet between Justin Bieber and Stray Kids, that all song, or Dojo, Stray Cat and all. So those songs are not for this. Okay, we are looking for songs like from Adele. I think Adele is the latest one in the market. So listen to those songs where they have complete sentence. That's where you look, you listen, you say out the lyric, and it kind of like enhance your listening skill. And then when you do part 2, when you say out it, it sounds right to you. Why it sounds right to you? Because you listen to English songs that have complete lyrics, that have complete sentences, and it sounds correct here, and it comes automatically here as well. Okay? All right. Study parts of speech. Yep. Revision of your grammar. You have to do it. Okay. Conjunction, preposition. Conjunction is your linking words lah. And, before, for, by. Preposition will be under, on, in. Adjectives are frequent asked question. Okay. All right. So let us look at our this one. Okay, don't worry if it's too small for you, because you can get this from the material shared by our organizer. Okay, now this is a text about QR codes. All right, now Touch and Go e-wallet has provided QR codes for users to scan and send donations to organizations that are helping. So usually they will have 0 as an introduction to the passage. Okay, so here, just to let you know, the answer is A, because it goes together with organizations. Okay, dia link. You tengok pergerakan cursor ni that are because of organizations. This is countable noun, plural. Okay, with the movement control order in place, users can continue to donate by. So if you look at number 9, you have scan, scans, scanned, scanning. Why is the answer D? This is because the rule of the thumb is when you use by, the word after this must be a verb in ing form. That's the rule that you have to remember. When you use by, except if you have by with a noun. Contohnya, written by Ezlin. Written by Encik Safwan. That is different thing ya. Sebab itu proper noun. Nama orang. But here, when you have it in the form of verb ing. Okay, if I put this in Malay structure, okay, para pengguna boleh terus dengan menggunakan QR code. So by scanning, okay, scan. What is scan in Malay? Menyimak? No, scan. Scan. Okay, I think you know lah. Okay, by scanning. Okay, so I compare it dengan menggunakan lah yang paling tepat. Can't think of the word scan in bahasa Melayu. Tengah fikir. Kalau ada idea, I'll mention ya. Okay, by scanning the QR codes. Okay. And then we look at number 10. People can share the QR codes blank family members. So here, if we look at our option, on, by, for, with. Okay. Kalau you kata people can share the QR codes on maknanya dia duduk atas ahli keluarga. Kan pelik. Alright. So you have by, can share the QR codes by family members. It doesn't make sense. For family members, so here you have for dengan with. Now here, another tip from me, we call this mungkin phrasal verb, mungkin juga prepositional verb. I will call it phrasal verb. Share, memang partnernya ialah with. Some of us, we like to write share to. Tapi sebenarnya, the most accurate usage is share with. Berkongsi dengan, share with. For me, honestly, I notice the question on the use of share with is quite common in some reference book. Okay, so take note share with. Okay, we look at number 11. Mana ni? Okay. Number 10 can share with family members to increase the amount of donation to these NGOs, which include la la la, just to name a. Okay, now dalam rational clause, they like to question the use of expression. Penggunaan frasa tertentu. Dia ada certain phrases in English that dia memang macam tu lah combination dia. In other words, you have to memorize. Those who read a lot, you will know this. Okay, so here the phrase is just to name a. So you look at in number 11, most, least, little. Memang combination dia just to name a few. Just to name a few means for example actually. Just to name a few means for example. Now we look at tips here. Kalau tips number 9, scanning, because preposition by should be followed by an ing verb form. Okay, and then for number 10, with, the keyword share is followed by the preposition with that precedes family, members, and friend. Okay, number 11, few, because the phrase it to name a few is a fixed expression. So, nampak tak? Dia expression yang wajib hafal. Wajib hafal. Wajib guna, wajib hafal. Okay, we move on to number 12. Next paragraph. So, nampak tak kat sini? Here, remember I mentioned about the past tense and present tense thing? So, here you could write, okay, yang ni has, okay, present tense. Can, okay, present tense. So, now we move on to paragraph 3. The blank will be channeled to the partners of Touch and Go and e-wallet. So, what is number 12? We have income, proceeds, monetary, finance. So, number 12 here is actually referring to the previous paragraph of the previous sentence. So, we look at number 11 kembali. Share the QR codes with family members and friends to increase the amount of donation. Donation to the NGO. Okay, and then dia cakap sini, apakah peranan NGO cater to the needs of the homeless. Okay, so the what will be channeled to the partners of Touch and Go e-wallet. So this idea of donation ni will be channel. Channel ni akan disampaikan, akan dihantar to the partners of Touch and Go. So what will be the right word that is referring to the word donation? So kita nak check donation. Alamak, donation tak ada. Okay, we go for A, income. Income is gaji. Whoa, you want to give your gaji for free? No. We have proceeds. Okay, proceeds. So if I already put a BM word here, it means sumbangan. Now, proceed has two meaning. Kalau kita guna proceed sebagai verb, teacher, should I continue with the writing now? Please proceed. Cik, sila teruskan. Itu dalam bentuk verb. But in the form of pronoun, with the letter S at the back there, it become proceeds, which means sumbangan. Okay, this idea, proceeds ni, sama juga dengan perkataan good. You have the word good in adjective means, but when you add the letter S to the word good, it become goods. It has become a noun, which means barangan. So that's why I say English is a stingy language. Kita ada perkataan ni, tambah S dah jadi benda lain, dia punya word class pun lain. So how do you, overcome this confusion? Read, people. You gotta read. People who read will be people who are alert. Cewa. Okay. Then we have monetary. So monetary is about kewangan. And finance is also about kewangan. So C dengan D ni dia agak general. Kat sini kita ada donation. Memang spesifik tau fungsi duit tersebut. So definitely not gaji. The answer is B. We look at the tip here. The answer is B, proceed, because it refers to the money got through the donation. Okay, number 13. Alright. As Scan and Go e-wallet has a large user base, the company can do its parts by, nampak tak? By, kali kedua ditanya dalam soalan ni. So here you have to know anything with verb ing. So we look at number 13, by promoting. Okay? Alright. Then we look at number 14. Okay, we look back at the previous sentence before 14. As Scan and Go e-wallet has a large user base, the company can do its part by donating, by promoting a digital cashless platform. The NGOs that have been relying on methods, blank methods of receiving donation should get in touch with payee Sedrian Berhad. Okay, we ignore number 15 kita kembali ke number 14. The NGOs that have been relying on blank method of receiving donation. So we look at number 14. Original, traditional, conservative, fixed. Original, if you're talking about something fake versus original. You look at sentence for number 14, it has nothing to do with that. So irrelevant, out. We look at B, traditional. Traditional ada banyak maksud. One will be about the old way, the usual way versus the current way, cara terkini, the latest way, the latest way. And then kita ada conservative. Now, conservative is actually about your attitude. It is somehow linked to the word traditional, tapi when you describe someone's point of view, pendapat, pendirian, perspektif seseorang, kita guna perkataan conservative to show that he is not into the current way of thinking. He is not in the current way of practice. Dia suka cara lama. Orang kita kadang kata cara kuno lah, cara lapuk. Itu idea of conservative. And then we have the word fixed. Fixed means tetap, will not change. So based on the option, it looks like B. Because if you look at number sentence before number 14, digital cashless. Before this, we've been paying things cash. Now cashless, especially with our pandemic. We want to stay safe and remain that way. We are encouraging people to pay the cashless way. So this one kind of represent the current way, and that's why 14 is B. Okay, kita tengok penjelasan 14, which refers to the long established way of doing something. And then we look at number 15. Mana dia? Of receiving donation should get in touch with payee Sendirian Berhad. Okay, number 15. We have because, though, so that, then. So here is the use of what we call connectors, conjunction. So because, kerana, though, walaupun, so that, supaya, then, seterusnya. So which is the right what we call conjunction for this? If we look at the sentence, have been relying on traditional methods of receiving donation should get in touch with payee Sendirian Berhad so that. So you nampak tak should? Should means you are suggesting to do this supaya. Why not because? Because a safer, seamless way. Actually, this one is showing the impact. When you show the impact, it is actually the connection, the connector so that. Okay, kita nak tunjuk impact. Ini bukan sebab, ialah impact. Impact, nama Melayu impact, and that's why the answer is C. Okay, we look at number 16. Users can make a donation based on these. Take note of this, yeah. Determiners, THESE. It is referred to plural noun. Noun yang ada the letter S. Okay, countable nouns selalunya. So we look at our option: ways, steps, methods, procedures. Okay, semua ni boleh diterima, but which one? If you look at this carefully, kita ada ways. Okay, ways macam logik kan, sebab dia if you read the sentence first, go to the company, second, you go to this, so cara-cara. So betul kan? Then B. Steps pun boleh sebab ada first, secondly dan sebagainya. Okay, method. Method ialah kaedah. So between methods and ways, if you look at the explanation after this, it is between A and B. Procedure ialah what we call procedure untuk melakukan sesuatu. So usually it involves something very medical, something that very technical. So this is not technical enough. So we are down to A and B. So which one? A and B. The answer is B, steps, because of first, secondly, next. Kita tengok explanation for 16. The answer is step because users have to follow the instruction given. Okay, so for number 16, I'm not surprised if you choose A, but selalunya dia ada term macam ni, the correct one and the accurate one. So kita go for the accurate one, and the answer is B, steps. And then we look at number 17. First, go to the company's Facebook to obtain a list of QR codes from the NGO partners. Secondly, scan and donate directly if they are using blank laptop. So we look at 17. His, her, our, dia. Okay, question on pronoun. So here you have to use your knowledge of your pronoun. So nampak tak ni? They. Jadi dia punya third or second user of pronoun kena sesuatu yang berkaitan dengan they. Maksudnya more than one. His, seorang, out. Her, seorang, out. Our, kami. Dia, mereka. The answer is D. We look at number 17. Dia should be used to refer to the pronoun they. So kalau his ialah he, her ialah she, our ialah we, dia ialah they. Okay, bukan their, they, T-H-E-Y. Then we have number 18. Finally, users can key in the blank they wish to donate. So keyword here is donate, which means donate money. Now here kita nak guna number, fraction, amount, quantity. Okay, number is usually used for something that can be counted. Kita boleh kira. So number and quantity are out. So we are left with fraction and amount. Fractions means sebahagian. Okay, pecahan. So it doesn't fit in this context, and that's why the answer is C. The answer is C, amount, because it refers to the money users want to donate. Okay, are we alright so far? Admin, kita ada apa-apa soalan ke so far? Admin? Kita ada apa-apa soalan ke so far? Tak ada ya?
Tak ada cikgu.
Okay, sebab reading ni dia memang kita banyak mendengar, baca, lepas tu dia lain sikit lah dengan writing. Okay, so tak ada, kita akan proceed ya. Okay, alright, we move on to part 3. Belum lagi. Okay, these are some of my tips for students out there. Later, bila cuti dah mula 10 Disember, what can you do to improve your reading, especially part 2? What I would suggest is you focus on these grammar items, these 8 grammar items, for practice on error identification and correction. So you have nouns ataupun kata nama, verbs kata kerja, process or continuous maknanya yang ada verb ing tu, passive sentence which is the opposite of active sentence, perfect tense yang penggunaan past participle bersama have, has dengan had, and then to selalunya student kadang-kadang silap sebab dia fikir lepas tu verb kena ikut past tense ke present tense dan sebagainya. But for number 6, penggunaan tu selepas tu verb dia mesti original word. Okay, and then kita ada models. Model pun sama. Kadang student dia will eats. Sedangkan dia kena original verb will eat contohnya. And then by dengan for. So you nampak tadi contoh tadi ada 2 soalan berkenaan penggunaan by. So we should focus on this 8 item. Okay, now these are some of the what we call errors involved using these words. So take note sebab kadang-kadang dia akan highlight dalam option tu. Contohnya even though. Is it the first one or is it the second one? Even though as one word or even though as 2 words? So it's 2 words. So this is your note lah. Moreover, furthermore ni especially students suka sangat leave out the letter R here. Okay? Sebab it's our pronunciation. You know, you don't go around and say furthermore. Okay, people will look at you at one kind, right? So we say furthermore. So sometimes when you want to get the spelling right, mulalah you fur. Okay, tak ada R. There where your mistake comes in. Next, you have many student cause a lot of problem. Sebab bila kita direct translate from our mother tongue, you tend to forget to consider the rule of what we call subject-verb agreement here. Contohnya, when you have ramai pelajar and you put it in English, it has to be ramai pelajar-pelajar. Okay, so here we have many students. And then cause ni tak ada masalah. A lot of problems. Ni lagi satu. These days, kena macam ni. Kalau you buat this day, THIS. So yang ni bergantung pada konteks. You sebagai penulis or you as a reader, you have to know whether we are talking about one day or one item or many day or many item. Okay, next. The reasons for this is because. Okay, you ada the reasons. Tapi you guna is. So it has to be the reasons for this are. Kalau you buat ayat you the reason for this are, tak ada letter S, so the reason for this is. Next you have, yang ni memang salah satu daripada common error in writing and also in reading where they can ask you to actually, choose the right word. So one of the one of the solution is. So pembetulannya ialah one of the solutions is. One of the reason is, that's the error. So the correction will be one of the reasons is. Okay, next. The person who are in charge, person. So it should be the people who are. So people ni goes together with the word are. And then kalau errornya ialah the people who is in charge, so it should be the person who is in charge. Again, it depends on the context. Are we talking about one person or more than one? And then you have error type number 6. For examples, it should be for example with a comma. Gadgets such, okay, this one cikgu ada silap sini ya, such as patutnya, such as handphone. So selalunya example kita ada plural in a plural noun form. Okay, so the lecturer must explain the answer by give examples for explain the solution. So it should be by giving examples for giving the solution. Okay, the Ministry of Education should providing free broadband for students to surfing the internet. So the errors here, should provide to surf the internet. Okay, next. Heavier fine, maknanya saman yang berat ataupun saman maximum must be give to the ones. So it should be must be given to the ones who break the law so that they remember that laws are to be taken. Ini dalam bentuk passive structure. Okay, error number 10. This is what I meant by present perfect, past perfect. Yeah, has made. Okay, they has made. We has made. Okay, yang ni juga salah satu daripada common grammar item tested in part 2. Okay, so I would like to suggest these two online practices website that you can actually do this during your holiday. So remember students out there, cuti bulan 12 ni is very short, but it will be very meaningful if you use it correctly, wisely, for your subject, including English. Try out this error. So you have to balance it. Sometimes you use your workbook to do your practice, but sometimes you feel like, yep, I need to do something online, sebelah sini your I know you tengok, you buat your Discord recommender ke, next step tu you buatlah online practice ni like this. Okay, so this is one of the screenshot lah if you go to this one of this website. Okay, so since you have reference to this note, you can refer to this website, this link. Okay, for those who like Telegram, you have this. This one is my favorite. I always look at this, refer to this, and actually use this with my students. Yeah, I ambil contoh ayat, contoh latihan dan gunakan. So here, for me, this Telegram daily English quiz, cikgu tak dapat apa-apa commission if you think that, oh, cikgu dapat commission for morning. Tak. Okay, dia banyak ajar kasih latihan tentang perbezaan perkataan. So she felt a lot of shame and encouragement, enjoyment, embarrassment, enthusiasm. Joanna had a face like a wet cloth, wet weekend, wet tissue, wet pavement. COVID-19 kan, wet pavement, wet tissue ni macam dah common kan, tapi adakah jawapannya wet tissue? Actually wet cloth. Okay, sebab ini ialah fixed expression.
Alright,
Okay.
cikgu.
Yes.
Nampaknya ada satu soalan, one question from Nick. From Nick, okay, let me scroll back the question.
Okay, kejap Okay, if I can see the question also, kejap
Okay, the question is, dia tanya how to differentiate the usage of whose and whom. Where do you use
Okay. Okay, apa tadi? Who, whose dengan whom.
Yes.
Okay. How or when do we use whose and whom? Okay, now, yang ni memang favorite question. Okay, kejap. Let me go back. Okay, tak apalah. I tak tunjuk my slide dulu Okay, so I can see my own face dulu cakap. Okay, penggunaan whose dengan whom. Dia ni sebenarnya bergantung kepada struktur ayat. Contohnya kita kasih soalan, whose book is this? Buku ni siapa punya? Tu bahasa layman lah sorry lah my BM buku ni siapa punya? So if I put it in an English way using whose book is this? Okay. Contohnya whom. Okay, selalunya perkataan whom, it is used actually as a very official and actually sophisticated way in speaking and in writing. Okay, kalau you go around, whom shall I talk to about this? People will look you at one kind sebab it's a very formal British, very sophisticated way. So orang pun kata kau ni biar benar, So usually kita selalu kita kata who should I talk to? Memang bunyi dia pelik, tapi it's a layman term. So actually penggunaan whom selalunya in the beginning of the sentence. Selalunya it can be used in a question form, it can be in sentence form. So the example that I have given earlier, whom shall I talk to about this problem? Okay, dengan siapa saya harus bercakap tentang masalah ni? Ataupun kalau dalam bentuk ayat, misalnya, sekejap tengah fikir sebab ni on the spot tengah fikir dulu. Kalau misalnya I have a certain, I am the one who is responsible for this job. Okay, yang tu kita nampaklah penggunaan who. Jadi kalau whom, I am the one whom you should talk to if you have any problem. So nampak tak dia punya formality dia? Contohnya, I am the one you should talk to if you have problem versus I am the one whom you should talk to. So whom ni penggunaannya macam yang sepatutnya. Jadi kalau kita guna layman term, I am the one you should talk to sama dengan I am the one whom you should talk to. So whom tu memang very formal. Okay, so what I've done so far is I have shared the use of whom. First in the form of question, whom should I talk to if I have this problem? I am the one whom you should talk to if you have a problem. So that is how you use the word whom. Honestly, so far, when I look at rational clause dalam format lama SPM dengan format baru SPM, selalunya penggunaan whom ni dia akan tanya sekali and it's a very rare grammar item to be questioned. Okay, and I also noticed that it is one of the option in that particular question, tapi it's always not the answer. Selalunya cikgu notice jawapannya ialah who ataupun which. So they put the item whom dalam option tu sekadar to distract you. Sebab student dia selalu nampak whom dia dah risau dah. So memang every year, every time bila kita encounter macam format lama paper 2 reading dengan sekarang format 1 mesti student akan tanya apa beza whom dengan whose. Again because it is something that we rarely use in Malaysian community. Kita jarang penggunaan whom, kita guna whom dengan who. Unless you watch those British drama, British movie, you akan dengar whom dengan whose. Okay? Alright, I think Nick kan yang tanya soalan tadi. Okay, I hope I have answered your question. So if you have more questions, do ask and then Cikgu Afwan will help to share the question with me. So can I continue?
Yes.
Okay? Okay, alright. Mana slide tadi? Hilang aja Okay. Alright. Okay, you can see the slide, yeah? Okay, now we move on to part 3. Okay, part 3 is what they call the longer text MCQ. Longer text because it's a multiple choice question using reading comprehension passage. So this is where usually you get a narration ataupun cerita. Okay, so tips given will be 1, read and understand the passage. Some students, if again you feel turned off ataupun you rasa nervous when you look at the long passage, you read the question and identify the keywords. Okay, contoh di sini. Okay, the question 1 is in paragraph 1. Something very helpful for part 3 is they tell you where to look for the answer. Paragraph 1, paragraph 2. This is the same format maintained from the old format of our paper 2 with the present format. So Alhamdulillah, this is very helpful for you guys, okay? So in paragraph 1, so here it is telling you where to look for the answer. Okay? So you jangan tengok perenggan-perenggan lain. Focus paragraph 1. So those struggling students out there, you nervous betul dengan reading paper, no worries. Part 3 ni memang user friendly habis. Okay? Okay, when did the writer begin to suffer from depression? So you underline this. When you have to know the meaning is bila. So it's about time. So when you have when, it's about time, it's about age. It's all about number. So when did the writer begin to suffer depression? Okay, bila penulis mula mengalami kemurungan. Okay, you look at the option when she was 5 years old. So you tengok option jawapan pun semua tentang umur. So that's why when is about age, is about time, is about number, is about years, minute, hour dan sebagainya. When he was 5 years old while visiting an old bedridden man. So you nampak bedridden, you dah nervous dah. Chill. Look at the next option. When she was 25, struggling to understand her life. Okay, bergelut nak memahami kehidupan dia. Bedridden means maknanya dia tak boleh bergerak, terdampar atas katil. When she was 14 and had the urge to cry. Urge. Maksudnya ada rasa naluri yang kuat, rasa yang kuat nak menangis dalam perjalanan balik ke rumah dari sekolah. When she was 16 years old and suffering monthly outbursts. Okay, so monthly, bulanan. Okay, outburst maknanya macam nak marah, macam nak meletup, actually nak nangis tiba-tiba, nak marah tiba-tiba. That is outburst. So we look at the evidence. So this is paragraph 1. The first incident I can remember happened when I was 14. As I walked home one day, I was overcome with the urge. Nampak ada urge. So you tengok, okay, mungkinkah jawapan dia C sebab ada urge. That's why kadang you tengok keyword, kadang dia ada similarity. And then just for your information, usually the first 2-3 question dia mudah sebab dia ada keywords yang the same, similar keywords in the option and in the evidence in the text. Okay, sit in a corner, cry, to sit in a corner and weep. Okay, alamak, perkataan cry tak ada. This is where your knowledge about vocabulary comes in. So, bila you ada perkataan menangis atau cry, under the heading cry, dia ada banyak. Weep, you sniffle you menangis macam tu lah, sniffle. Ataupun you are in tears, you have buckets of tears, menangis habis-habisan lah. Okay, dan sebagainya. So those are the expressions, synonym related to the word cry. So here we have weep. So that's why the answer is C. Okay. Alright, we look at other example for comprehension. Oh, sorry. Kita tengok pada tipsnya. Skim for general idea, which means you look at the whole text, what is it all about, and then scan for specific details. So this is where you use the question, the keywords from the question to allow you to get ready for the answer. Okay, now, guess the meaning of unfamiliar words from clues provided by other words or by context. Okay, now, you will find that in part 3, they will ask you meaning of selected word or phrases. Yang ni yang selalu student akan nervous. So this is where you have no choice but to guess the meaning. And how you do that? You look for clues provided by the words around that sentence or by the whole context. Contohnya, you nampak weep. So you tengok that particular option, you compare with the evidence in the text, lebih kurang sama. So here you can guess. Umur 14. You nak pergi ke corner, selalu pergi kat sudut, you buat apa? Takkan nak buang air kecil kan? It's wrong. So usually you go to corner, you want to be alone. You don't want to be with people. You want to be alone, you want to be isolated, bersendirian, and selalunya you akan menangis. Okay, so this is all about knowledge. That's why they say you have to read. Baca novel. Kalau malas nak baca novel pun, at least baca online novel, e-book, so that you have all this knowledge about actions, about things that people do, and this will help you with part 3. Recognize the attitude or opinion of the writer. Now, item number 4 is very important because sometimes the comprehension question can ask you, why do you think the writer? Why is the writer feeling that way? Why is the writer choose to write the ending like this? What is the writer's feeling about the character? So itu ialah some of the common questions for number 4. So, clue yang diberi di sini ialah another clue provided by another source. You read the question, identify the paragraph number, use keywords, identify the right answer from the given text. Do not read the whole text. Again, if you're an avid reader, you love to read, no problem. But if you are the one who don't like reading and you are reading just for the sake of your exam, then you have to go for the strategy where you use the question to help you to read. Okay? Alright, so we look at another example. Okay, you are going to read a short story from a magazine. Okay, alright now. Question 19. In paragraph 1, so sorry sebab cikgu dah crop ni. So sebelah ni paragraph 1 lah ya. Ni nampak cikgu dah relabel for you guys out there. P1, P2, which means paragraph 1, paragraph 2. In paragraph 1, why was Madam Ashley not happy? Not happy. So here comes your mind. What are other synonyms related to not happy? Angry, annoyed, dan juga perkataan lain ya. Banyak perkataan yang berkaitan dengan itu with Janati. So kita tengok pada paragraph 1. Okay, kita baca. This is not the first time. You don't seem to remember simple instructions. Didn't I tell you to display those new arrivals in front of shop earlier? Madam Ashley, the shop proprietor, chided Janati. So here, mana yang macam not happy? So you tengok dia punya dialog ni. This is not the first time. You don't seem to remember. Ini memang, ni bukan pertama kali ni. Takkan benda mudah pun tak boleh nak ingat. Arahan yang mudah tak boleh nak ingat. Ni nampak macam the expression of anger. Tapi mana perkataan not happy? Okay, one, it's from this dialogue yang I have line. Secondly, from the word chided. Chided means scolded. Okay, scolded. Okay, so this is a high level word. So you have to take note. Okay, so why was Madam Ashley not happy? Janati did not put the display near the front. Okay, mungkin juga sebab nampak reason kenapa Madam Ashley marah. I tell you to display those new arrival early. Didn't I tell you to display those new arrival earlier? So A, logic. Janati did not arrange the new arrivals on time. Dia kata earlier, tak. So for me B is no sebab dia tak ada kaitan. Ni lebih kepada bukannya awal-awal lagi ke dah disuruh mempamerkan barangan yang baru sampai ni. So dia tak buat. Bukannya dia terlewat atau dia terawal. Dia tak buat. So B is out. Janati did not wait for instruction. Dia tak wait. Dia tak buat. So C is out. So D. Janati had forgotten Madam Ashley instruction again. So it sounds like D, but it can be A as well. So how do you make your selection? Okay, so you look at the first one. This is not the first time. Means dah banyak kali dah Janati buat kesalahan ni. So this is not the first time, goes hand in hand with the word again here. Okay, so nampak dah D dah nak menang dah. And then you don't seem to remember simple instruction. Okay, so when she said this is not the first time, ini ialah kesalahan berulang kali Janati buat. Tak ingat arahan yang mudah. So because of this, the answer is D. A hampir, tapi D has the full support from the evidence because this is not the first time, which is linked to the word again. You don't seem to remember simple instruction, ialah bukannya pertama kali dia buat hal macam ni. So it's D. If we look at the explanation, the phrases not the first time, don't seem to remember indicate Janati was forgetful. Don't seem to remember goes in hand with the phrase had forgotten. Janati was forgetful and this made Madam Ashley unhappy. Okay, so again, in part 3, you are lawyer. I think this one lawyer yang lagi super powerful because this is like you're having a case study. And then we look at paragraph 20. Here, paragraph is mentioned. So this is paragraph 2. What can be concluded? Ini high order thinking question. So you will find that as you move on to part 3, part 4, part 5, you will have more and more high order thinking skills question. So yang ni apa yang you boleh faham? Apa yang you boleh rumuskan? Apa yang you boleh simpulkan about Janati's character or quality? Okay. Here, she was not happy working at the footwear shop. So we look at paragraph 2. Have not worked, slow, sluggish, forgetful. Okay, you look at the word sluggish, dah nervous dah, tak apa. I just explain Sluggish ni maknanya, I can't think of a proper word. Maaf kalau agak kasar perkataan ni. Dalam bahasa Melayu dia lembab. Okay. Pick up slow. Itu kalau term orang bekerja lah, pick up dia slow. Okay. Slow is one thing, tapi ni pick up dia slow. Maknanya dia macam, kita kata dalam bahasa Inggeris, delayed response. Kita kata, okay, pergi jemur kain. 10 minutes later, oh jemur kain ke? Itu lebih kurang macam sluggish lah. Okay, so, if you read from the first line, from both Janati until the end, tak ada pun sebut pasal Janati not happy. So, A is out. She was consistently scolded. Consistent kita ada dalam bahasa Melayu. Consistent means selalu, kerap, sentiasa. So we look for that evidence. Okay. Madam Ashley had reprimanded. Sudah reprimanded tu apa? So reprimanded, chided means scolded. New word for you guys, for some of you. Numerous time. Numerous time ni kerap kali, beberapa kali. So this goes together with consistently. So B might be the answer. She had never done anything right before. Okay, so what can be concluded? She had never done anything right before. Okay, dia punya main problem here is could not even remember simple instructions, slow, sluggish, forgetful. Probably once he got the instruction, she would do it well. Okay, so C. Kalau you tengok C, and the worst thing, she messed things up. Okay, she messed things up. She had never done anything right. So, mungkin juga C, because you have this here. And the worst thing was she messed things up. So, sekarang kita ada between she had never done anything right. She was consistently scolded. Okay. D, she had to be reminded to be organized. Okay, if we look here, It has nothing to do with that. So it's between B and C. So yang mana yang paling ketara? Okay, for me, the answer is given as B, and I agree. Because evidence kat sini ialah Madam Ashley had reprimanded Janati numerous times. So dia memang is linked to the word consistently. She had never done anything right before. So far, it's only these two, customer's order or misplaced tu je. Dia tak cukup untuk menyatakan tak pernah buat benda yang betul selama ni. Mungkin before this, she has done something right. Okay, so if we look at the evidence, it's more to B. And then we look at this, yeah? Okay, reprimanded, scolded numerous times. So itulah jawapannya. Okay, alright. So part 3 ni memang banyak tentang evidence. Evidence. So sampai you kat sini, you dah boleh susun strategi dah. You find out, okay, if part 3, 4 and 5 would be challenging for you guys, perhaps you want to do part 3 first. So it's for you to choose. Okay, guys? Okay, we move on to another question. Okay, this is paragraph 3 lah ya. Okay, in paragraph 3, why did the writer use the phrase would not give a hoot? Okay, hoot ni banyak maksud one is the sound of the owl, you know, burung hantu daripada Harry Potter. Hoot, hoot. Hoot juga is a slang used by the American African which indicates a movement of something. The third meaning is this one. Okay, we look at the whole thing. Janati was always her bubbly and approaches self. So bubbly means cheerful. I had never seen her sulk despite being reprimanded. She liked to chat with me. We had lunch together. We did not have any issues, but I would sometimes have too much on my mind and work that I did not want to entertain her. So penulis ni ngaku kadang dia ada banyak benda nak fikir. So dia malas nak layan. If I were given a choice, I would not give a hoot about her. Okay, so here to get the meaning of this expression, look at the sentences before and after. I did not want to entertain her. I just wanted to be a colleague, not a friend. Okay, colleague means rakan sejawat. You meet your worker in the office, hi, and then bye. But you don't have social interaction with him or her outside working hours. Okay, kalau friend outside working hours, jom kita pergi minum, karaoke ke, tengok wayang ke dan sebagainya. Okay, so we look at the option. Why did the writer use the phrase would not give a hoot about Janati? Why did? Okay, because she cared about Hanati. Sebab would not give a hoot means couldn't care less. So definitely not A. B, did not like Janati. Yeah, bila you tak kisah, when you couldn't care less, it's actually you don't like that person. Okay, wanted to talk to her, dah would not give a hoot, definitely you don't want to talk to her kalau boleh. Wanted to be her friend, definitely out sebab dia dah kata sini not a friend. I just wanted to be a colleague, not a friend. So D is out. That's why B is the answer. Okay, so yang ni ialah the writer's attitude, the writer's tone. Kenapa writer use the phrase would not give a hoot in this story? Okay, I think that's the end of part 3. So for me, honestly, looking at this, you can guess that part 3 is one of the parts in paper 1 that you need lots of practice. Okay, next one which a student fear the most is part 4, gap text. Okay, because you really have to choose well to complete the passage. Okay, so let us look at the techniques. Skim the text once to get a general idea. Read again and focus on how each paragraph is organized. Highlight important keywords and main ideas. Read the answer options and highlight keywords. Okay, so when you do step number 2, number 3, you look at the subject. Look at the pronoun. Pronoun ialah kata ganti nama, ya. So you look at the subject. If the subject is a woman, then the pronoun should be about she, her, hers. Okay, and then the adverb. Adverb would be to what extent dia punya tindakan dia punya action dia. Okay, he runs, she sigh sadly, dia mengeluh dalam keadaan sedih contohnya. When matching, focus on the keywords as well as synonyms and the grammar tenses used in the sentences before and after the gap. So when you want to make the final choice of that particular gap to be put inside the missing sentence, you look at the keyword, synonym dengan grammar tense. So maksudnya dia punya tense tu kena consistent sama. Previous sentence, that sentence yang ada gap dengan after that. Reread the paragraph to check if the sentences fit well. You don't have to start with the first gap. start with the easiest one. So that's why when you look at the whole text yang ada gap, kadang you boleh nampak yang mana yang obviously nampak sangat jawapan dia dalam pilihan gap tersebut. Okay, we look at our other tips. Firstly, predict from the title or headline what the text might be about and quickly read through the text to confirm this. Read the paragraph or sentences that go in the gap and identify the topic. So topic here is actually the keywords or the key phrase. And this will help you to work out how they might logically fit into the sequence of the text. Think about what the articles, so articles ni and, the semua tu, pronoun. Selain daripada he, she, they, it, you have this, that, this, those. This, that, this, those can also be determinants, okay? And then you have conjunctions. Okay, conjunctions maknanya so that. So nampak kalau dia ada kasih impact, jadi mungkin sentence yang before that is an action yang menyebabkan impact of the action. Time expression, yesterday, the next day. Okay, closely read the sentences before and after each gap. Yang ni yang akan membantu students out there to get the right answer to fill in the gap. Make your decision not necessarily in order. Means kalau you tengok first gap ni susah, we look for the easiest one. Tak ada masalah. And then you do your elimination process. Okay. Okay, yang ni juga sebahagian daripada tips yang lain. Sama juga. And then read the paragraph. Maknanya di bawah teks yang ada gap-gap tu, dia ada dia punya pilihan jawapan. You look. Yang mana yang you rasa boleh eliminate, yang tak logik dan sebagainya. Okay. Step tu dah ulang tadi ya. Okay, now roughly between 15 to 80 minutes. I can assure you student memang spend time banyak kat sini. So your time management is very important. So after you have done your percubaan, you should by now realize yang mana yang you punya your strength, and mana you punya weakness. So kalau you punya weakness ialah part 4, then you work on part 4 a lot, and perhaps you do part 4 first during SPM. Okay, so pronoun, this, that, this, those, he, she, they, to refer back to something previously mentioned. Okay, connectors to link words, phrases, and sentences help to introduce the reader to the relationship between phrases, sentences, and entire paragraphs. You have however they fall in addition. So penggunaan ni akan bantu you to choose the right gap. Okay, so we look at this practice. It's a story of Putri Saadong. 6 sentences have been removed from the article. So you have 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You ada 8, so 2. There are 2 sentences which you do not need. This is what we call distraction. Saja je nak menyusahkan hidup kita. Okay. Alright, so we start ya. Now we look at number 1 here. So to get number 1, memang jawapan dia dah dapat dah Jawapan dia to avoid confrontation, Cik Siti married Putri Saadong off to Raja Abdullah. But how do we arrive at this answer G? So we look at the tips. First, look at the sentence before number 1, which is Putri Saadong. So ni subjek dia. Putri Saadong, this beautiful princess, her. So maknanya dalam ayat yang you have fell in love with Raja Abdullah. So another character. Okay, and then you have King of Siam, marry her. So your sentence here mesti ada tentang Raja Abdullah, mesti ada Putri Saadong, mungkin King of Siam. And then after that, you tengok at this, look at the sentence after number 1. You ada after the union Cik Siti Wan Kembang. Sudah Cik Siti Wan Kembang pula. So mesti ada sebab kenapa Cik Siti Wan Kembang disebut, and Cik Siti Wan Kembang should be here. And then you look at the word union. Okay, nampak the sentence before number 1, we have marry, and after that you have union. So union is about marry, wedding, marriage. Okay, after the union, okay, so you have to think about what happened before the marriage and after the marriage to get the answer for number 1. So the answer is G because you nampak Putri Saadong jatuh cinta dengan Raja Abdullah, King of Siam nak kahwin dia. Nampak dah love triangle. So Korean cerita 3 segi. So of course King of Siam versus Raja Abdullah sure gaduh kan. So it's called confrontation. And then since nama Cik Siti Wan Kembang dah sebut sini, surely her name should be mentioned here. So here we have Cik Siti Wan Kembang, Cik Siti. And then you have marry, union, married Putri Saadong off to Raja Abdullah. And that's why the answer is number 1. Nampak tak you ikut ke sana, ke sini, ke sana, ke sini to get your answer. Okay, we move on. Okay, number 2. In number 2, the answer is their happiness did not last long, however. Alright, how do we get to this answer? We look at the clue. Raja Abdullah and Putri Saandung, 2 characters. It goes with the word they. And then if you look at number 3, dia. Okay, Chun. And then became the new rulers, just and well liked. So, when they got married, they become the new rulers lah. The prince and the princess, the king and the queen. And then they were just, maknanya well and liked. So, very positive. Okay, so what will be the right gap for number 2? And then we look at the next sentence. The king of Siam still adamant. So adamant means determined. Degil, nak juga. So king of Siam is what we call the orang ketiga in Malay, or the third wheel. Okay, the third wheel, that's the term, third wheel. To make Putri Saadung his wife. Okay, so ada juga konflik. Dah kahwin, nak juga isteri orang. So, when you have that issue, do you think you will stay happy? Nampak kat sini, when you do your gap text, dia ada juga melibatkan soalan tentang logic. Again, when you watch movie, drama, you will get all this knowledge. So, that's why the answer is number 2. Their happiness. So, dia ni merujuk kepada the happiness of Raja Abdullah and Putri Saandung did not last long because dia ada third wheel, orang ketiga ni, sibuk sangat ni. Okay? Alright, then we look at number 3. So I will move to the next slide. Okay, for number 3 here, because of the third wheel from in the form of King of Siam, the royal couple, okay. Okay, I think yang ni ada silap ni actually ya. Kejap ya. Okay. Sorry ya, yang ni silap ya. Actually this one is supposed to be here. For number 3 ni jawapan dia ialah E. I tersilap letak. My apology. Okay, so make note number 3 is actually D. Okay, the royal couple, so we are still referring to Raja Abdullah and Putri Saadung, decided to leave the palace and move somewhere else. So, apa jadi bila pasangan diraja decided to leave the palace, tinggalkan istana and move elsewhere? What did the King of Siam do? Apa yang King Siam buat menyebabkan Putri Saadung membuat keputusan ke Siam untuk mengadap? The king must have done something. What did the king do? Okay? Alright, so that's why the answer is D. Apa the king buat? What did the king do? He sent Siamese soldiers to look for them. So them here is referring to the royal couple and kill those who cross their path. So it has involved bloodshed, pertumpahan darah, pembunuhan. So after hearing this, so this means referring to 3. And it must be a very impactful, sesuatu yang amat dahsyat berlaku until Putri Saadung decided to go to Siam to face the king on her own without the king besides her. So that's why the answer is D. The Siamese soldiers kept on looking for them and killed those who crossed their path. So ini maknanya we involve the death of the innocent rakyat. Okay, so we move on. Alright, number 4. The princess set off on her journey to Siam with her most trusted guards. Putri Saadung stayed in Siam for months. Dia duduk lama bukan sebulan month. But despite being treated grandly, she wanted to return home. Okay, dia dilayan dengan penuh kemewahan. She wanted to return home. What would be the gap for number 4? When she finally agreed to meet the king. So what can you understand from this phrase? Finally agreed, which means memang tak jumpa langsung this King of Siam when she reached Thailand atau when she reached Siam. So you have to look for that idea here. And the answer is F. She also kept putting off, postponing. Putting off means postponing or delaying the king's request to see her. Because this goes in hand with the next line, when she finally agreed. Dah jatuh cinta, dan tu cinta. Look at the next one, number 5. So fell in love, Putri Saadung offered to perform a dance so that she could plot her escape. So during the dance, she subtly, okay, so subtly means gently, quietly, scratch the king's skin, scratch okay, cakar, with her nail, which was laced with the magic potion. So here as a reader, you might wonder, apa jadi after that? Okay, apa jadi after that? To find out what is the gap for number 5, we look at the next clue. After the months of agony, so agony means suffering, the palace astrologer, so setiap istana, now that's why if you watch those Siam drama, old drama, Korean banyak kan drama-drama yang berkaitan dengan istana-istana kan, the Joseon Palace kan, dia ada dia punya palace astrologer, okay. Astrologer means seseorang yang can read your horoscope, predict your future, that kind of thing. Told the king that the disease could have been caused by a curse after bringing a princess against her will. Okay, fine. So, apa yang berlaku yang menyebabkan dia suffer? So, we look at this and the answer is the next day the king developed an itch. Maknanya because of that cakar, dia ada kegatalan lah, macam eczema lah, I think. That wouldn't go away and became worse as each day passed. Okay, now this one towards the end. After being allowed to go back to Kelantan, Puteri Saagdong was eager to meet her husband, but upon reaching the palace, she was shocked to find another woman sitting on her throne. Ooh, madu. So what happened here? Whoa, tarik rambut, cat fight between the queen and the second one. But before you jump to that conclusion, before you want to choose B, you look at the sentence after 6. During the heated argument, Puteri Saagdong used her hairpin and stabbed him. Him, bukan her, him. So him here is referring to whom? So that's why, feeling betrayed and humiliated, she had a huge argument with Raja Abdullah. So you will look at the phrase huge argument. Huge argument is the same as heated argument. Okay, gaduh kau-kau punya lah. Okay, so feeling betrayed, main rasa belut lah. You know, I fight for our marriage, here you are with another wife. Malu lah. Perempuan tu tengok kan. Okay, share the argument with Raja Abdullah. So nampak tak? Yang ni pun macam lawyer juga. Share evidence support. Okay, clear. Okay, this is a story. So you might feel, okay, story senang teacher. But what about factual text? So I give you one. Plastic bag bring about environmental catastrophe. Okay, malapetaka. Catastrophe means malapetaka. So the same rules applied here. You tengok perkataan yang similar used before and after. We also look at the use of preposition. And for this text, a lot of preposition is used to get your answer. Okay, we look at this. Trillions of microplastics end up in the ocean with seafood eaters ingesting, okay? Seafood eaters ni your fish, your whale, your crab, okay? Ingesting opposite of digesting. Digesting penghadaman, ingesting means eating lah. An estimated 11,000 pieces every year, and then number 27. Okay. And then you look at the sentence after 27, this bits. So in 27, you must have some phrases related to microplastic and these bits. So we look at D, number 27, plastic. It goes together with microplastic. Okay, doesn't decompose but photodegrades into small bits. Small bits, it refers to these bits. That's why 27 is D. And then we look at number 28. Then the bigger fish and other mammals eat these plastics and the associated toxins accumulate in them. Okay, so yang ni ialah proses. You look at then. First you have, you have the word then. After then is referring to the word next. And of course when you have then, you nak tahu impact. Impact apabila ikan mammal semua, ikan dengan semua ni makan ni, apa jadi? So the best is number 28. Eventually, this is what we call discourse marker. Discourse marker penanda wacana yang menunjukkan pengakhiran kepada fakta ini. You have then, and then eventually, which means akhirnya, dia punya penghabisannya, these plastic bits. So nampak these plastic bits juga relevant to this. End up in people's food or contaminate. So contaminate is related to the word toxin. Jadi nampak tak? Your skill in doing part 4 is you banyak word association. You have toxin, apa kaitan dengan toxin? Contamination. Contoh di sini contamination. Okay, that's why 28 the answer is E. Okay, what if you encounter words that you don't understand? Here, Jaya, G-Y-R-E. Okay, fear not. We look at what we can do. Okay, before 29. The floating bags accumulate. Accumulate means berkumpul and add to other plastic items that form Jaya. Sudah ke benda Jaya ni? No worries. Chill. We look at the sentence after 29. These are growing. So these maknanya sesuatu yang banyak. Clue. Are growing menunjukkan sesuatu yang banyak, yang membesar, yang bertambah over the years. And then you have in 2016 the Great Pacific Gaya. Pacific Gaya. Okay, the word gaya tu ada, fine. And then Pacific. So when you look at the option, you will find this Pacific. Okay, and then you have 5 huge. Huge ni, it goes together with growing in size. And then you have Pacific. And that is where you choose your answer. A 5 huge garbage island in the Pacific. Okay, apa maksud gaya? Circular pattern of currents in an ocean basin. Okay, then we look at number 30. Plastic fibers have also been found in tap water around the world. In one study, researchers found that 94% of water samples in the United States were affected. So, kat sini kan you punya inquisitive nature, perasaan ingin tahu tu sangat kuat. Jadi, so we talk about A. Kenapa A, teacher? You have plastic fiber. Okay, plastic fiber that goes together with the word microplastic. And then when you have tap water, siapa yang minum tap water? Who are the main users of tap water? Us human. So this goes together with this gap. The impact on human health from direct exposure to microplastics is unknown. Okay, next. Number 31. Okay, number 31 ni sebab because the passage is long, so I have to crop it. So kena ke sana ke sini . Okay, we look at the clue here. But the dozens of perfectly intact plastic bag, intact means masih dalam bentuk yang sama . Pull from the stomach of a dead Cuvier big whale. Sudah, panic, don't. Whale, ikan paus, relax. Cuvier big is a type of whale. Okay. Okay, we move to the next one. In the Philippines in March could have been from any of us, and then you have number 31. Closer to home, a whale shark. So this passage is all about whale. So when you choose your option to fill in number 31, you look for that, anything that to do with whale. So here it says the juvenile Cuvier big. Juvenile. So kita tengok balik juvenile. Okay, juvenile ada dua maksud . First is the young people below age, young people who have committed offences, yang telah membuat kesalahan jenayah. We call them juvenile. Pesalah juvana bawah umur. And secondly, it also refers to young living thing. So in this case, the whale lah, baby whale, the young whale. So diguna perkataan juvenile. Okay. Alright, so here kita nampak the impact of this . The dozens of perfectly plastic bag pulled from the stomach of the dead Cuvier big. So apa yang berlaku bila plastik bag yang dalam keadaan masih sempurna ditarik keluar daripada perut ikan paus ni. Ini impact dia, died of gastric shock after swallowing 40 kg of plastic bag. So, for gap text, dia banyak involve dengan cause, impact. Kalau fakta, passage berbentuk fakta, dia involve cause and impact. Impact of the sentence before the gap and also after the gap. Okay, next. Last one. I think number 32. Okay, here's senang. It's all about Malaysia. 2010 Malaysia, mismanaged plastic waste, Malaysia. So your option, Malaysia, solid waste, mismanaged. Cantik. Okay, so I hope you have some ideas. I have shed some light on how to tackle gap text, narrative form or factual form. Okay? Alright, any question from our students out there, admin? Belum ada soalan ya? Okay.
So far, no.
Okay, alright. Now we have reached the last part of your reading paper, which is part 5 matching. As I have mentioned earlier at the early part of the session, this is one of the section that students fear the most, not because of the first part, because of the last part, because you have to use you have to complete a short answer question. Okay, so here, You have to, one, understand the main point or the gist. Okay, what is all about. Maknanya bila you baca description of the sample statement made by the character, and it can be a statement from teenagers, statement from consumers, statement from users of a particular item. So you kena macam put it in your own word. That's why it makes part 5 challenging. Understand specific details and information. Here, your ruler and your pen highlighter plays a role, but you can check again. For the synonym, keyword mentioned by in the statement, match it with the evidence in the text. Guess meaning from context using clues and signal words. Recognize writer's attitude or opinion in the text. Okay, so read the statement. So what you need to do, the part where you have to match the paragraph and statement. But for me, honestly, this is the easiest one. Yang bawah tu yang kita demam sikit, one word answer. Read the statement and then find which paragraph discusses the statement and fill in the blank. Okay, this one make sure, because I'm currently marking my class. B looks like a D, A looks like an O, sometimes A looks like a D. Is it because of my age? I'm 46 years old. Do I look old? Maybe, but come on. On your part, help your examiners, help your teachers by writing clearly the letter. Okay? All right. So that we help you, you help us. Okay, now, when you tackle the one word answer part, read the statement and fill in the missing word in the statement. The missing words are from the given paragraph. So far, based on my experience marking this part here, one word answer is where you get most mistake because number one, you do not realize the use of the letter S in the noun, plural noun or is it singular noun? Secondly, your spelling. Sometimes you miss out one letter R or you miss out one letter M. So be careful when you write your answer because this is the only part in the paper where you have to write a word or a phrase depending on the question. The rest is you blacken, you shade, and then in in part four, you have to write A or H. Okay. All right, now, skim the text once to get a general idea. Guess meaning from clues and recognize attitude of writer. Highlight keywords in the question. So you'll find that highlight keywords is used from part 1 until the end. Scan for specific details in the text that have similar meaning to the keywords in the question. For note completion, focus on the preposition. Correct. This is the last part, the four parts, the four last part, the last four parts, sorry. Focus on the preposition used before the gap to decide the word form that fits in the gap well. For example, if you nampak at, in, on is about time or place. To must be with the word verb. The is used together with noun or adjective. And then you have and links to same word form. And take note of suffix mention, which is about noun. Ed, ing, ful, less is about adjective. Okay. All right. So let us look at this. Yeah. We interviewed 6 consumers about some tips on shopping online. Read the text below and answer the questions that follow. Okay. We look at question 33. As usual, if you're an avid reader, you can read this through. But again, you prefer to use the question as your reading tool. Why not? Okay, number 33. You should, underline this, review the policy. So you have to look for something related to review the policy. So the answer is E, why? Okay. Read the small print before making any purchase online. Read and understand. The word review is not mentioned here at all. Review means you read and understand. Read and take note. Read and make note. And that's why the answer is E. Read the small print. Read and understand refers to review. Policy, here you have written policy, privacy policy, all that. That's why the answer is E. So you nampak ya, sometimes you will find that the clues are broken up into parts. So in this part, review is under read, the small print, read and understand, and then policy is the next part. Next, remember to protect your personal information. So what comes to your mind when you see the phrase personal information? So it's definitely your IC, your password because it's about online shopper. So if you have account with your Shopee, of your Lazada, you definitely have to know your password. You have to take care of if you're doing online payment using online banking, you have to take care of the details about your credit card, about your debit card, about the tag number and all that. Those are considered personal information. Protect. So you need to look for things related to this phrase. So the answer is F, because retailers ask for too much information, such as your credit card details. So for online purposes, credit card details is your personal information. Identity card number, your my card number is your personal information. Okay? Protect comes under the idea of red flag. Red flag means a warning of danger. When you have a retailer of that particular shopping website asking for too many information about all this, you have to see the red flag. Red flag is based on the idea if you go to Teluk Kemang at this hour, if you go to East Coast beaches at this hour, you see red flag is on, saying that the weather is not allowing the beach goers to use the beach to go for a swim. And if you do so to go against the red flag, you are taking your own risk about on your life. Okay, next. Read the opinion of other online shoppers. So you have opinion, other online shoppers. With this in mind, look, and the answer is A, because read the review. Review involve opinion of others. So that's why you have review, others. Others is referring to online shoppers. Say about the products and seller. Say will be their opinion about the products and seller. That's why the answer is A. Next. Don't be too hasty. Hasty ni jangan kalut sangat. Itu orang Kedah lah. Jangan kalut sangat. Yang rebut sangat pahal. Okay, don't be too fast in making a decision to buy. That's why many of us, especially they said, according to research, they've said that many female online user will always add to cart until 100, 200 add to cart because they want to think first. They don't want to be hasty. Okay? So don't be too hasty. One phrase that you need to look for among this statement. Check out for bargain. So you have to look for the word bargain. So look. You will find this at C. Find bargain. Aha. Take some time to browse. So don't be too hasty. Ini ayat negatif. In the tip, it becomes a positive statement. Take some time. Jangan kalut sangat. Ambil masa. Chill, cool, add to cart. Think about that item for 2 days. If you can live without it, then you don't have to buy. Okay? Alright, so if you look at the tips offered here, read and understand policy for question 33. The answer is F. Okay? Retailers asking too much information is a red flag. So remember our phrase for today, red flag means warning danger. Ingat je Teluk Kemang, ingat je East Coast beaches during this season, November. Okay? Reviews from others, the answer is C, because bargain and take some time to browse. Okay, now we have reached the last part of your information transfer part 5. Okay, complete the notes below using the information from the text. Choose no more than one word. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, students out there, pagi ni sangat penting. Because like this morning, I look at my students' work, memang tepuk dahi. Aduh, hai, dah cakap dah no more than one word, no more than one word. Oh, I got 2 word answer. It's definitely wrong. No more than one word. Bermaksud satu kataan aja. You may wonder, kenapa lah jangan tak letak choose one word? No. I think the rubric ataupun arahan Profesor dibuat demikian because to train you as you go to university level, you will find all this instruction in a very academic and formal way. Okay? Alright, now. An impulsive shopper, dah gabra dah, ke benda impulsive. Okay, chill, cool. Baca dulu. An impulsive shopper means people who go shopping. Tapi sebab an meaning one person lah. One person who goes shopping should have a shopping what? To avoid from buying unnecessary things. So, bermaksud ni kena supaya dapat mencegah dirinya daripada membeli barang yang tak sepatutnya. So, kita punya keyword ialah impulsive shopper. So, kita cari. Kita jumpalah dekat Encik Amar. Impulsive shopper. Okay. So to make a what? Dia tak kata shopping list. Dia kata kat sini list of things you really want to buy. So yang ni ialah really want to buy so that you avoid buying unnecessary things. So unnecessary things is the opposite of really things that you really want to buy. So that's why here you use the word list, a shopping list. Okay, number 38. Unsure of the online shopping site, start with small. So you look for these phrases in your text. Small purchases. Small purchases. Dapat dah jawapan. Yay, small purchases. Because you are the not unsure. So not unsure ditukar kat sini unsure. So nampak tak again? The use of your mata tajam dia is what we call, you must have an eagle eye, you spot. Unsure is equivalent to not sure. Online shopping. Okay, jalan. Small purchases. Okay, number 39. You can get information about how good the product is. So it's about the word good, product. When you can read feedback. Okay, feedback. Masa ni dah fikir. Feedback, response, review from other shoppers. People who buy. So for this, you look. You dapatlah number A. Read the review. So here you know. Read and understand. Read the small detail, read the response, read the feedback, equivalent to review. From other shoppers, equivalent to others. So that's why read. Read feedback, read the review. Number 40, the last one. Those who want to money should look for bargain and promotion. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm very sure you're so familiar with online shopping tips, right? Nampak bargain, jimat duit. Nampak promotion, jimat duit. So confirm save money. Kalau you tak sure, you look, number 40. Alright? Find bargain, promotion, save your money. Okay? Alright, so if you look here, it says people should start with small. Oh, okay, this one until number 38. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, students out there, that is the end of our session for today. So let me go back to our admin, okay, for any question. Okay, mana ni? Stop.
Alright.
Screen. Yeah.
Okay, terima kasih. Thank you so much Cikgu Ezlin atas ilmu pembelajaran dan tips-tips yang hebat yang dikongsikan sebentar tadi bersama dengan adik-adik kita. Saya percaya program hari ini dapat membantu dan memberi manfaat kepada para pelajar di luar sana. Terima kasih saya ucapkan kepada para pelajar, adik-adik sekalian di atas penyertaan anda bersama kita pada pagi ini. Kami berharap agar anda terus setia untuk menyertai program ini pada minggu-minggu yang akan datang. So sedikit pengumuman, UR Gear Up SPM Free E-Tuition akan berehat untuk 1 minggu pada next week. So next week on Saturday 4 Disember, tiada program UR Gear Up SPM Free E-Tuition untuk memberi laluan kepada acara UNIRAZAK Virtual Convocation secara langsung di MyUnirazak YouTube channel. So next week, UNIRAZAK akan ada convocation. So kita akan kembali bersiaran secara langsung untuk kelas terakhir bagi subjek Bahasa Melayu bersama Cikgu J pada 11 Disember. 11 Disember, lagi 2 minggu ya. Sabtu 11 hingga 1 petang. Penyertaan bagi sesi hari ini, anda bolehlah WhatsApp di nombor 03 2789 1583 atau klik pada link yang telah disediakan di paparan anda. Sekali lagi, saya ingin maklumkan sijil akan dihantar melalui email secara individu kepada para pelajar selepas program ini tamat pada Januari 2022. Jadi, mengenai poll yang diadakan sebentar tadi, adakah adik-adik berjaya menjawab dengan cemerlang soalan percubaan SPM bagi subjek Bahasa Inggeris? Around 80%, 79% mengatakan ya dan 20% tidak, dan saya yakin selepas mengikuti sesi kedua Bahasa Inggeris pada hari ini, keyakinan adik-adik akan bertambah dan akan mampu soalan sebenar SPM tidak lama lagi, insya-Allah. Amin. So terima kasih sekali lagi kepada semua dan jangan lupa untuk duduk di rumah, jaga penjarakan sosial, bersama-sama kita putuskan rantaian COVID-19 dan kembali pulih seperti sedia kala. Kami iringi anda semua dengan doa kejayaan dan kesihatan yang baik dan all the best untuk peperiksaan sebenar SPM 2021 tidak lama lagi. Kita jaga diri, stay safe. Terima kasih semua. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alright.